Hello, dear students. Welcome to my online classes. Today we will study the first lesson of our English textbook, Hornbill, and the name of the lesson is The Portrait of a Lady, written by Kuswant Singh. Kuswant Singh is a renowned Indian author from the Punjab. Portrait here means a picture, a photograph. But throughout the lesson, we will not find any picture or any photograph of the author's grandmother. This whole story is an autobiographical account of Kuswant Singh's autobiography, in which he has pen portrayed the character of her grandmother. So we'll have to imagine ourselves how uh, she looks through the description given by the author. So let's go through the line by line explanation of the lesson. My grandmother, like everybody's grandmother, was an old woman. The author says that his grandmother is very old woman, and like everybody's grandmother, she is also very old. She had been old and wrinkled for the 20 years that I had known her. So throughout uh, his life, the author has always seen her as old as she looks today. So for the last 20 years, he has seen him in the same physique. People said that she had once been young and pretty and had even had a husband, but that was hard to believe. But when uh, Kuswant Singh knew from his neighbors that they used to tell him that his grandmother was very beautiful in her youth and she also had a husband, then the author feel it difficult to understand. He is not ready to accept this fact because he has seen her only as old as she could be. My grandfather's portrait hung above the mantelpiece in a drawing room. Now the author is describing his grandfather, whose portrait is also uh, hanging on the mantelpiece in the drawing room. So mantelpiece here means the rack above the fireplace. He wore a big turban and loose fitting clothes. So in that portrait, in that picture, grandfather was wearing a turban over his head and all loose fitting garments. His long white beard covered the best part of his chest and he looked at least 100 years old. And in that picture, most part of his chest is white with gray haired hairs and he looked at least 100 years old, means he was also very old in that picture. He did not look the sort of person who would have a wife or children. He looked as if he could only have lots and lots of grandchildren. So by looking at observing at the picture, one can conclude that his grandfather may not have wife and children but have lots and lots of grandchildren. It means the age of the grandfather was uh, very high, large, as it is said that he had lived more than 100 years. So we have seen that how the author has described, has given the physical look of his grandfather through that portrait. तो इस कहानी में अभी तक हमने देखा कि किस तरह लेखक अपनी दादी माँ का परिचय हमें दे रहे हैं और उन्हें ये लगता है कि उनकी दादी माँ हमेशा ही बूढ़ी रही होंगी, क्योंकि जब लोगों से वो उनके बारे में सुनते हैं कि यौवन में वो काफ़ी खूबसूरत थी, तो लेखक इस बात को स्वीकार नहीं कर पाता, क्योंकि अपने पूरे जीवन भर उसने दादी माँ को केवल बूढ़ा ही देखा है। और साथ ही लेखक अपने बूढ़े दादाजी के चित्र का भी वर्णन कर रहे हैं, जहाँ पर वो कहते हैं कि वो इतने वृद्ध हैं कि उन्हें देखकर लगता नहीं कि उनकी कोई पत्नी या बच्चे होंगे, बल्कि उनकी अवस्था को देख करके इस बात का आभास होता है कि उनके बहुत सारे नाती और पोते होंगे। He looked as if he could only have a lots and lots of grandchildren. As for my grandmother, being young and pretty, the thought was almost revolting. But again, the author admitted that if people would inform him that his grandmother was very pretty and beautiful in her youth, then this thought seems to be revolting. So here means the thought that the author's grandfather mother was once young and pretty raises a doubt in the mind of the author. He finds it too hard to believe, as he had uh, always seen her in the same old and wrinkled physical conditions for the last 20 years. She often told us of the games she used to play as a child. That seemed quite absurd and undignified on her part, and we treated it like the fables of the prophets she used to tell us. Again, the author said that his grandmother used to tell them about their childhood stories, in which she told them that she used to play different games as a child. But all those games seemed to be very absurd and undignified to the author, because by looking at her as age, such games seems to be unrealistic. So he uh, conclude that such games are totally undignified uh, according to her age. Uh, Prophets. We treat it like it the fables of the prophets he used to tell us. And all these stories of our childhood, we take it as the fables of prophets. So, fable of prophets means the stories from the Guru Granth Sahib, the stories of the Sikh Gurus. It means very honestly and very with great reverence, the author used to listen to his grandmother's stories. She had always been short and fat and slightly bent. Now we will see how the author has described the physique of his grandmother. She was old, short in structure, fat and slightly bent. And she is slightly bent because of her old growing age. Her face was a crisscross of wrinkles running from everywhere to everywhere. And there were a lot of wrinkles linings over her head, and it is due to the growing age. तो यहाँ पर लेखक खुशवंत सिंह हमें अपनी दादी माँ के बारे में बता रहे हैं कि वो कैसे दिखती हैं। उनका कद छोटा है और थोड़ी सी मोटी हैं, और साथ साथ में उनकी कमर आगे की ओर झुकी हुई है। तो वृद्ध अवस्था या अधिक उम्र होने की वजह से वो अब झुकने लगी हैं, और उसके चेहरे पर ढेर सारी झुर्रियाँ पड़ी हुई हैं। नो वी वर सर्टेन शी हैड ऑलवेज बीन एज वी नोन हर। और उनको देख कर के हमें ये बात और पक्की हो जाती है कि वो शायद हमेशा ही ऐसी रही होंगी। उनकी वो खूबसूरत ये जवानी काफ़ी खूबसूरत रही होगी, ये हम स्वीकार नहीं कर पा रहे हैं। मुझे लगता है कि शायद वो हमेशा ही ऐसी रही होंगी। So terribly old that she could not have grown older and had stayed at the same age for 20 years. उनकी अवस्था इतनी ज़्यादा बढ़ चुकी थी कि लगता है कि इससे अधिक कोई वृद्ध नहीं हो सकता। और ऐसा प्रतीत होता है जैसे पिछले 20 वर्षों से उनकी अवस्था थम सी गई हो, एक हमेशा एक जैसी वो नज़र आती हैं। सी कुड नेवर हैव बीन प्रिटी बट सी वॉज ऑलवेज ब्यूटी। कह रहे बाहरी चेहरे से वो खूबसूरत रही होंगी, ये तो मैं नहीं स्वीकार कर पाता हूँ, लेकिन हाँ, दिल से वो वाकई में बहुत ज़्यादा खूबसूरत हैं। She hopped about the house in spotless white, with one hand resting on her waist to balance her stoop and the other telling the beads of the rosary. So here, the author described his grandmother as a religious lady. So whenever she used to walk around the campus of the house, then she used to uh, bend forward, and also she placed her one hand on her waist to balance her body, and also uh, the other hand was busy in counting the beads. So continuously she was busy in her prayers. Her silver locks were scattered untidily over her pale, puckered face, and her lips constantly moved in inaudible prayers. So, here the author described that silver locks means the grey hairs of the grandmother were scattered on her untidy faces and over her pale and puckered face. Puckered here means wrinkled face, and her lips constantly moved in inaudible prayers. She used to recite the prayers in very feeble sound. Yes, she was beautiful. She was like the winter landscape in the mountains, an expanse of pure white serenity, breathing peace and contentment. So, yes, again, the author says that yes, she is beautiful like the winter's landscape. So, as we have seen in during the winter time, the peaks of the mountains are completely covered with the white snow. So the grandmother also looks like the winter's snow because of her white sari as well as her white hairs which were scattered on her pale face. And this look of the grandmother uh, is compared with an expanse of pure white serenity, breathing peace and contentment. So at this age, the grandmother seems to be very peace and contentment. She is satisfied in her life, and uh, an expanse of pure white serenity here refers to calm, peaceful, and serene character and conduct of the author's grandmother. She is compared to the peaceful winter landscape in the mountains. She was always attired in spotless white clothes and had silver hair. She thus presented a picture of pure white serenity. तो यहाँ पर हमने देखा कि लेखक अपनी दादी माँ का परिचय देते हुए कहते हैं कि वो दिन भर घर के आंगन में इधर उधर टहलती रहती है। उसके जो सफ़ेद बाल हैं उसके उन फीके चेहरे को ढकती के ऊपर बिखरे पड़े हैं, और वो लगातार जो है अपने दाहिने हाथ से उन मनके को माला को जपती रहती है, और लगातार उसके ओंठ जो हैं कुछ धीमी आवाज़ में हिलते रहते हैं। लेकिन लेखक कहता है कि उसकी दादी माँ वाकई में खूबसूरत है, क्योंकि उसका जो अभी जिस तरह से वो दिखती हैं, सफ़ेद साड़ी, बाल भी सफ़ेद हैं, तो उसकी तुलना वो पहाड़ों की चोटियों पे पड़ी हुई बिखरी हुई खूबसूरत बर्फ़ से करता है। My grandmother and I were good friends. My parents left me with her when they went to live in the city, and we were constantly together. So here the author's best companion and friend is his grandmother. His parents has left him alone with his grandmother, and his parents had shifted to the city for finding or maybe in search of jobs. She used to wake up me in the morning and get me ready for school. So every day, grandmother used to wake up early, and then she made the author ready for the school. She said her morning prayers in monotonous sing song while she bathed and dressed me in the hope that I would listen and get to know it by heart. I listened because I love her voice but never bothered to learn it. So, the time when the grandmother was busy in uh, making food for the child, and also when she make him ready for the school, at this time she deliberately sing the prayers more loudly. Monotonous means unpleasant sound. So she used to recite that those prayers loudly so that the author can hear and learn them. But the author loved her voice only, but he never bothered to learn all those prayers. Then she would fetch my wooden slate, which she had already washed and plastered with yellow chalk, a tiny earthen ink pot, and a red pen, tie them all in a bundle, and hand it to me. Then what the grandmother did? She used to fetch. Fetch means she used to bring the wooden slates. Today we have notebooks, pencils, pens, but at that time they were only slates on which children had to write with the plastered yellow chalk. Again, she gave the earthen ink pot and a red pen and tie them all in a bundle so that the author can carry all these things safely to the school. After a breakfast of thick stale chapatis with a little butter and sugar spread on it, we went to school. She carried several stale chapatis with her for the village dogs. So after having breakfast, and what the author generally had in his breakfast, only stale chapatis with sugar and butter spread on it. And his grandmother also carried some stale chapatis for the village stray dogs. तो यहाँ पर हमने देखा कि लेखक कहते हैं कि उनकी सबसे अच्छी मित्र उनकी दादी माँ है। उनके माता पिता लेखक को दादी के साथ छोड़ करके शहर चले गए थे, और फिर लेखक की सारी जिम्मेदारी दादी माँ की थी। दादी माँ सुबह जल्दी उठ करके बच्चे के लिए नाश्ता तैयार करती और फिर उसे स्कूल के लिए तैयार करती थी। जिस वक्त वो बच्चे को तैयार कर रही होती थी तो उस समय वो जानबूझ करके ज़ोर ज़ोर से उन प्रार्थनाओं को गाया करती थी ताकि लेखक भी उनको सुन करके उन्हें याद करे। लेकिन लेखक को केवल अपनी दादी माँ की आवाज़ अच्छी लगती थी, पर उसने कभी भी उन प्रार्थनाओं को, उन भजनों को याद करने की कोशिश नहीं की। फिर दादी माँ अपने पोते को नाश्ता खिलाती थी, और नाश्ते में अक्सर जो है केवल बासी रोटियां ही हुआ करती थीं, जिन पर वो चीनी और मक्खन का लेप लगाती थी, और उसके बाद कुछ बची हुई रोटियों को लेकर के वो स्कूल के तरफ बच्चे के साथ जाती थी, जहाँ पर उन्हें वो गांव के आवारा कुत्ते मिल जाया करते थे, तो उनके लिए वो हमेशा उन बासी रोटियों को भी ले जाया करती थी। My grandmother always went to school with me because the school was attached to the temple. The priest taught us the alphabets and the morning prayers. So grandmother always accompanied the child because the school was attached to the temple. As she was a religious lady, so she got enough time for her prayers. And the time when the priest, so that education at that time was given by the temple priest. So the time when the priest gave lessons to the author, then grandmother While the children sat in rows on either side of the veranda, singing the alphabets or prayers in chorus, my grandmother sat inside reading scriptures. So when lessons were given by the priest in form of alphabets and prayers, which they sing in chorus, at the same time, grandmother used to sit inside the temple and read scriptures. Scriptures means here the religious book, the Guru Granth Sahib. When we had both finished, we could walk back together. And when our work is over, means the author learnt his lessons and the grandmother finished her reading her scriptures, then both returned back to their house. This time the village dogs would meet us at the temple doors. They followed us to our home, growling and fighting with each other for the chapatis we threw to them. और लौटते वक्त गांव के सारे आवारा कुत्ते हमारे पीछे पीछे आ जाया करते थे, क्योंकि दादी माँ उनके लिए जो बासी रोटियां ले जाया करती थी, तो जैसे जैसे वो रोटी के टुकड़े उनको उनकी तरफ फेंकते थे तो वो आपस में उन रोटियों को पाने के लिए आपस में लड़ते झड़ते हुए हमारे पीछे पीछे घर तक पहुंच जाया करते थे। तो यहाँ पर हमने देखा कि जो लेखक है उनकी दादी माँ अपने पोते को लेकर के स्कूल जाती हैं, जहाँ पर मंदिर के पुजारी के द्वारा उन्हें पढ़ाया शिक्षा दी जाती है, और इस वक्त दादी माँ खुद को व्यस्त रखने के लिए मंदिर के अंदर रखी गई धार्मिक पुस्तक को पढ़ा करती थी। When my parents were comfortably settled in the city, they sent for us. That was a turning point in our friendship. So when the author's parents managed to get a suitable job and they found their life settled and secure, then they sent a message for the grandmother and the author to come to the city, and this was a turning point in their friendship. So now onwards we will see how the bond, the strong bond in their friendships weakens as they shifted from the village to the city. Although we shared the same room, my grandmother no longer came to school with me. I used to go to English school in a motor bus. There were no dogs in the streets, and she took to feeding sparrows in the courtyard of our city house. Now just see the changes. In the villages, we have seen how grandmother used to accompany the child to his school. But here, as the author is going to an English medium school, so he is going through the bus. So now grandmother do not get enough time to spend her time with her grandson. And again, as in the city there were no stray dogs, so grandmother used to feed the sparrows in her courtyard. As the years rolled by, we saw less of each other. For some time, she continued to wake me up and get me ready to for school. So as the time passed, the author said that the time which we used to spend together gets reduced. So at the beginning, means when they were newly shifted to the city, then she used to wake him up as both shared the same room. So she used to wake me up early in the morning and get me ready for the school. When I come back, she would ask me what the teacher had taught me. I would tell her English words and little things of Western science and learning. The law of gravity, Archimedes' principle, the world being round, etc. So when the author returned from the school, so every day grandmother used to ask him a lot of questions about his study. Then the author would inform her that he had learnt some different English words, something about Western science and learning, law of gravity, Archimedes' principle, and uh, the about the earth, that it is round. This made her unhappy. She could not help me with my lessons. She didn't believe in the things they taught at the English school and was distressed that there were no teachings about God and scriptures. But grandmother was unhappy at this moment because she found her helpless. Now she is unable to help her grandson in his studies, and also she don't have much trust on the English schools, and she was disappointed knowing that there is no teaching of God and scriptures in the school. It means there is no any religious teaching in the school. So she was a little bit disappointing on knowing it. Uh, One day I announced that we were being given music lessons. She was very disturbed. So one day the author was much eager to inform her his grandmother that they are learning music. But when she got this news, she was much disturbed. To her, music had lewd associations. It was the monopoly of harlots and beggars and not meant for gentlefolk. So the grandmother was unhappy because, according to her, music had lewd associations. It is confined to harlots, prostitutes, and beggars who used to sing and allure other people for their own benefits. So she thought that music is not for the gentle folks, gentle people. She had said nothing, but her silence meant disappointment, disapproval. She rarely talked to me after that. But on hearing this news that the author is learning music in his schools, the grandmother said nothing. She didn't express her agitation in words. She sat silently, and in silence she expressed her disapproval, her uh, resignation. But she rarely talked to me after that. And now the grandmother was so hurt that she rarely talked to the author. तो इस पैराग्राफ में हमने देखा कि किस तरह से लेखक कहते हैं कि जैसे जैसे समय आगे बढ़ता जाता है, उनकी दोस्ती के बीच दरार पड़ने लगती है और अब बहुत कम, एक साथ रहते हुए भी एक दूसरे के संपर्क में वो काफ़ी कम थे। बहुत कम समय वो एक दूसरे के साथ ही बिताया करते थे। बच्चा, ये लेखक जब स्कूल से घर लौटता था तो दादी माँ उससे ढेर सारे सवाल पूछती थी कि आज स्कूल में टीचर ने क्या पढ़ाया, क्या कैसा दिन बीता। तो वो उससे बताता था कि उसने कुछ नए नए अंग्रेजी के शब्द सीखे हैं और साइंस, वेस्टर्न साइंस के बारे में पढ़ा है, ग्रेविटी, गुरुत्वाकर्षण का गुण के बारे में जाना है, आर्किमिडीज सिद्धांत और यही कि पृथ्वी गोल है। ये सारी चीज़ें उन्हें स्कूल में पढ़ाया जा रहा है। लेकिन अब दादी माँ थोड़ी सी दुखी और चिंतित होती हैं क्योंकि अब इंग्लिश मीडियम स्कूल्स की पढ़ाई उसकी समझ में नहीं आती और वो अब अपने पोते की कोई भी सहायता नहीं कर पा रही थी। और जब उसे ये मालूम होता है कि विद्यालय में देवी देवताओं की या कोई धार्मिक पढ़ाई नहीं होती, तो वो अपनी नाराज़गी व्यक्त करती है। फिर एक दिन उत्साहपूर्वक लेखक दादी माँ को ये बताता है कि उनके स्कूल में संगीत की शिक्षा दी जाने लगी है। तो दादी माँ बहुत नाराज़ होने लगती है क्योंकि वो पुरानी सोच की महिला हैं और उन्हें लगता है कि संगीत का सहारा केवल वेश्याएं और भिखारी लेते हैं, जो लोगों को संगीत से मोह करके उनसे पैसे वसूलते हैं। और इसलिए दादी माँ को ये बहुत बुरा लगता है। यद्यपि उसने अपनी नाराज़गी शब्दों में व्यक्त नहीं की, लेकिन वो चुपचाप रही और उसकी खामोशी ही उसकी नाराज़गी थी। और इस दिन के बाद दादी माँ ने अब अपने पोते से बातें करना कम कर दिया। बहुत कम और बहुत ही कुछ खास मौक़ों पर ही एक दूसरे से बातें करते थे। नहीं तो दादी माँ इतनी अधिक अपने पोते से नाराज़ हो गई थी कि अब वो उससे बातें करना भी नहीं चाहती थी। उसने खुद को एक अपनी ही दुनिया में कैद कर लिया था। तो इस तरह से अभी तक हमने देखा कि कैसे लेखक अपने दादी माँ का फिजिकल अपीयरेंसेस कैसे वो दिखती हैं उसके बारे में, दादाजी के बारे में बताता है, और किस तरह से बचपन में दादी माँ पूरी तरह से समर्पित थी उस बच्चे को लेकर के। उसका रहन सहन, खान पान, नैतिक जिम्मेदारियाँ, सब कुछ दादी ने बहुत ही खूबसूरत से निभाया। लेकिन जैसे ही वो गांव को छोड़ करके शहर की ओर आते हैं तो धीरे धीरे उनके बीच जो दोस्ती थी वो धीरे धीरे फीकी पड़ने लगती है, और अब एक ही घर में रहते हुए भी वो बहुत कम मिलते थे, बहुत कम उनके बीच में बातें हुआ करती थी। सो दिस इज़ ऑल अबाउट दिस वीडियो. So soon we will see you in my next lecture. Until then, take care. Goodbye.